You think you are waiting for the universe, but it's the universe that is waiting for you. Nothing out there is standing still. It's your vibration that defines the rhythm of everything. The quantum field doesn't respond to requests. It responds to states of being. While you think you have to chase your dreams, they are already ready, waiting for the moment your frequency becomes compatible. The universe doesn't decide time. It's your consciousness that bends it. Every creation begins in silence. It's the moment you stop trying to control and start to align. The energy that was once scattered becomes coherent, and what seemed distant begins to move towards you. Most people believe that manifesting is about wanting hard. But the more you want, the more you reinforce absence. Because the field doesn't understand I want. It understands I am. And when your I am changes, everything changes. You are not a piece on the universe's chessboard. You are the field itself in motion. The creator and the created coexist within you. When this awareness awakens, the impossible ceases to exist. Manifestation is not the result of effort, but of remembrance. The moment you remember that you already are everything you seek. And that's exactly when the dream life stops being a goal and becomes inevitable. Most people believe that manifesting is about asking, repeating phrases, and waiting for something external to happen. They place power outside themselves, as if the universe were a judge deciding who deserves and who doesn't. But the quantum field doesn't understand please. It only reflects frequencies. If you vibrate lack, it responds with lack. If you vibrate doubt, it responds with silence. Manifesting is not about convincing the universe, it's about convincing yourself that you already are. The mistake lies in trying to create from absence. When you say, I want to prosper, the field hears, I'm still not prosperous. And so, even while praying, visualizing, and trying to believe, you continue to feed the energy of distance. It's like trying to see the reflection of the sun on a turbulent lake. The more you force it, the more the water stirs, and the image disappears. Only when the lake calms does the reflection appear clearly. In the same way, the universe can only reflect when the mind is at peace. People try to change reality through effort, but they forget that effort is the child of resistance. It's not external work that creates its internal coherence. The more you struggle to make it work, the more you reaffirm that it's still not working. Manifesting is not chasing, it's aligning. It's the moment you stop seeking and start embodying what you desire. The field doesn't respond to haste, and it responds to presence. When you understand this, you'll realize that it was never the universe saying, not yet. It was you who kept the vibration of, I'm not yet. And that's the point where transformation begins, when wanting turns into being. Quantum physics and spiritual wisdom say the same thing, just in different languages. Reality is not something you find. It's something you create through observation. Everything that exists is potential energy, waiting for the touch of your consciousness to take form. Each thought is a vibration, each emotion, a wave that spreads through the field and shapes the space around you. When mind and heart are out of alignment, energy fragments. But when both vibrate in unison, the field responds perfectly. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. It's the coherence between what you think, feel, and do that activates the quantum field. The universe doesn't obey words, it obeys frequency. And your frequency is determined by your identity, what you believe yourself to be. When you declare yourself prosperous but vibrate with fear of losing, when you say, I trust but feel anxiety, the field reads the true signal, incoherence. And incoherence generates chaos, not because the universe punishes you, but because it simply reflects what it perceives. Being is the verb of creation. When you affirm, I am, the universe responds yes. Not because it gives you something new, but because it realigns your vibration with what already exists. Abundance, love, and peace don't need to be created, only accessed. You are not a being trying to reach the light. You are the light trying to remember itself. Everything that seems distant is only on another frequency, waiting for you to become compatible. When you change your inner state, matter reorganizes. When you decide to feel gratitude before having a reason, the reason appears. When you vibrate as someone already living the reality you desire, the field has no choice, but it must respond. This is the quantum truth. The outer world is only the mirror of the inner world. The universe is neutral. You are the one who gives it the script through the vibration you sustain. And when your vibration changes, the entire story changes with it. Einstein said that time is only a stubborn illusion, that past, present, and future coexist in the same field. This view is more than philosophy. It's physics. On the quantum level, time doesn't flow in a straight line. It bends according to observation. When your consciousness changes, the future changes with it. Joe Dispenza explains that the heart and brain are quantum antennas. When both enter coherence, when what you think and what you feel vibrate in harmony, a powerful electromagnetic field is emitted, capable of reorganizing matter. It's not magic, it's physics applied to consciousness. Studies show that elevated emotions, like gratitude and love, increase heart coherence. And that coherence literally changes the body's chemistry. DNA responds to the vibrational environment. The energy you emit is information. Every cell in your body reads the signal of your mind and heart and replicates it. That's why faith and science have never been on opposite sides. Quantum physics is simply explaining with equations what spiritual texts have always known through experience. I am that I am. This phrase from Exodus is the original code of creation. It's the recognition that the Creator is not outside, but within every conscious observer. When you affirm, I am, you're not asking the universe, you're instructing the field to collapse a new reality. This is the language of the Creator. The verb to be is the frequency of manifestation. Everything that exists begins with that inner declaration of identity. Even Jesus spoke in terms of vibrational coherence when he said, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move, and it will move. It wasn't a metaphor, it was the physics of consciousness. Faith is the force that stabilizes the quantum field in a specific direction. The field responds to emotional conviction, not mental doubt. That's why heartfelt prayers move the impossible, while anxious requests seem to get lost in the void. The heart is the portal of creation. The brain visualizes, but the heart vibrates. And the universe always follows the strongest vibration. Science calls this electromagnetic coherence. Spirituality calls it living faith. It's the same phenomenon, described in different languages. When you unite rational understanding with spiritual surrender, energy becomes creative. The invisible begins to organize around your new state of being. You don't need to choose between science and faith. Both point to the same place. The recognition that you are the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When the mind understands and the heart feels, the field responds with divine precision. And that's how reality bends before awakened consciousness. Imagine an old radio. It doesn't create the music, it only tunes into it. The frequencies are already in the air, invisible, waiting to be captured. If the dial is off, all you hear is noise. But when you turn it precisely, the sound becomes clear. The right station reveals itself. Manifestation works the same way. Your possible realities already exist in the field, like frequencies scattered through the air. Each thought is an adjustment on the dial. Each emotion is the intensity of the signal. When you vibrate in doubt, there's static. When you vibrate in certainty, the sound aligns. It's not the universe that changes, it's the tuning. The field doesn't need to be convinced to broadcast another station. It already transmits them all. You choose the channel by the vibration you sustain. The frequency of fear tunes into scarcity. The frequency of gratitude tunes into abundance. Most people try to force the sound, raise the volume, or hit the device. They don't realize the problem was never in the transmission, but in the inner adjustment. The manifestation knob is inside, not outside. When you enter coherence, mind, emotion, and energy vibrating in the same tone, the music of your life begins to play effortlessly. Everything seems to flow, coincidences appear, and what once seemed distant naturally draws near. The secret of quantum lock-in is this: lock your frequency onto the station of the result already achieved. Don't listen to the noise of doubt. Hold steady the signal of certainty. Just as the radio doesn't need to create the music, you don't need to create the miracle. Only tune into it. There was a man named Elias. For years, he tried to manifest a new life. He read books, made affirmations, repeated mantras, but the harder he tried, the farther everything seemed. It was like turning the knob of a broken radio. He heard only static, never the music. Every morning, Elias sat by the window and told himself, "I want to change." But inside, a voice whispered, "You're still the same." And the field, obedient as ever, reflected exactly that. Same days, same results, same vibration. One night, exhausted from trying, Elias went out for a walk. The sky was silent, and in the distance he heard music coming from an old radio in a neighbor's house. The sound was clear, steady. He stopped and listened. That's when he understood. The radio doesn't create the music. It only tunes in. The music had always been in the air, invisible, waiting for someone to adjust the signal. At dawn, Elias got up and wrote on a piece of paper, "It's not about wanting, it's about tuning." From that day on, he stopped asking and started being. When he woke, he acted as if he already lived the life he desired. He felt gratitude before seeing results. He chose thoughts that tuned his heart to the frequency of the life he wanted to live. At first it felt strange. Nothing changed outside, but something changed inside. The noise of doubt began to fade, the sound of fear weakened, and a sense of certainty began to fill the space of emptiness. It was as if life were finally playing his music. Without realizing it, Elias began attracting new opportunities. People appeared at the right time. Doors opened effortlessly. Things weren't happening. They were simply being revealed. The field was responding to the new station he had locked into. Months later, he looked back and realized he hadn't created anything. He had only learned to listen. He understood that the universe had always been broadcasting abundance, but he had spent years tuned into the frequency of lack. And in that moment, staring at the sunset reflected in the window, he whispered, "I didn't need to change the world. I just needed to change the station." And for the first time, the silence wasn't empty. It was harmony. The music of his new reality was finally playing, and he knew the universe had always been there, waiting for him to listen. Now, let's bring all of this into your life. Quantum lock-in is not a distant theory. It's a vibrational practice that can be lived every day. Think of your body as the radio and your consciousness as the dial. Everything you want is already being transmitted. You just have to adjust the signal. Step 1. Tune the station. Early in the morning, before any distractions, close your eyes and imagine the life you desire as if it were already real. Feel the details, the air, the colors, the emotions. The secret is not to visualize forcefully, but to feel truthfully. The quantum field reads emotion, not the image. Step 2, adjust the inner tone. Throughout the day, observe what you emit. Every thought is a frequency. If you notice noise, fear, comparison, impatience, acknowledge it, breathe, and return to the frequency of certainty. Tell yourself, "I'm just realigning the signal." Coherence is a state, not an effort. Step 3, live as if you were already tuned in. Manifestation doesn't happen when you get there, but when you act as someone who already has. Dress, speak, and walk as the version of yourself who lives that reality. This isn't pretending. It's training the field to recognize the right vibration. When you behave as someone who already is, the field begins to respond with equivalent experiences. Different people appear, new situations take form, and what once seemed random begins to organize with precision. The universe is always listening to the frequency you emit. Step 4. Maintain the stability of the signal. Results don't come from momentary tuning, but from consistency. It's not about perfection, but about vibrational persistence. When the noise returns, and it will, simply remember, the signal is still there, waiting to be heard. Persisting means remaining in coherence even when the world seems out of tune. Step 5. Let go of control. Just as the radio doesn't need to force the transmission, you don't need to force the field. Once tuned, trust. Stop watching the clock. Stop measuring time. Energy flows at the rhythm of coherence, not of urgency. Faith is the vibrational constancy that keeps the channel open. The practice of quantum lock-in is simple, but it requires awareness. It doesn't ask for more effort, but for more presence. The field doesn't want you to try harder. It wants you to be truer. When your inner world is at peace, the entire universe arranges itself to reflect that harmony. Start with a few minutes a day. Feel the emotion of the life you desire. Live one gesture as someone who already has it, and observe the signals the field returns. You're not creating something new, you're simply remembering the frequency where everything already exists. And once the signal stabilizes, manifestation is no longer a matter of if, but of when. You were never waiting for your dream. Your dream was waiting for you. It has always existed, like a frequency playing in silence, waiting for the moment you remembered to tune in. Reality doesn't need to be created. It simply reveals itself as you become compatible with it. The universe is not a judge deciding the right time. It is a sounding mirror responding to the vibration you maintain. While the mind doubts, the field waits. While the heart resists, the sound distorts. But when both align, the music of life plays with clarity. At that point, control loses meaning. Because you realize there was never anything to conquer, only something to remember. What once seemed distant was only low-frequency noise. And when doubt dissolves, the signal of abundance becomes inevitable. You understand that you are not inside the universe. The universe is inside you. Every particle responds to the silent command of your vibration. The mind creates the forms, but it's the heart that gives them life. It's in this meeting between understanding and emotion that the field bends. The revelation is simple and powerful. The field does not resist. The mind is what resists. The flow of creation is always open, but you only perceive it when you stop trying to control it. The moment you let go, everything aligns. Desire stops running and starts being drawn in. When you live in coherence, time bends. Opportunities arrive as echoes of your new state. The right people cross your path, not by chance, but by resonance. The universe doesn't conspire. It obeys. And then something inside you becomes still. There is no more searching, no more doubt. There is only a vibrant silence, a calm certainty, the feeling that everything is exactly where it should be. It's the instant when the self and the dream become one. And that's when you understand the dream life is not a goal to be achieved. It is a frequency to be inhabited. When you become that frequency, the impossible simply reorganizes itself to find you. Everything you desire already exists. It is alive on another frequency, waiting for you to remember who you are. Quantum lock-in is not about creating something new, but about sustaining the state of being that allows the invisible to become visible. The universe doesn't distinguish between dream and reality. It simply replicates what you vibrate with consistency. So stop looking for signs that it's working and start noticing the signs that you have already changed. The field responds to identity, not to expectation. Everything that feels slow is only adjusting to the new tuning. Time is not delay, it is calibration. Just as a station needs a few moments to stabilize its sound, your vibration also needs constancy for the new to take root. There is no more struggle, no more effort, only presence. It is in the stillness that the field reveals itself. You begin to understand that true power doesn't come from forcing, but from flowing. Creation is an act of surrender, not of control. So breathe. Feel the sound of your new frequency vibrating within your chest. You're not trying to manifest. You're remembering what you already are. And when remembrance becomes constant, the field has no choice. It responds. Everything is already happening. The invisible is only becoming visible through you. And in this moment, as you listen, the universe is already adjusting the sound of your life to play in harmony with your new being. So breathe. Feel the sound of your new frequency vibrating within your chest. You're not trying to manifest. You are remembering what you already are. And when remembrance becomes constant, the field has no choice. It responds. Everything is already happening. The invisible is only becoming visible through you. And in this moment, as you listen, the universe is already adjusting the sound of your life to play in harmony with your new being. If this message has touched something within you, write in the comments, "I am the field." Because when you write, you're not just typing, you're anchoring a new vibration. You're declaring to the universe that you remember who you are. Share this video with someone who needs to reconnect to their own frequency. It may be the spark they need to remember that they too are part of the field. And if you feel ready to go further, to learn how to live this tuning every day, I've left a special material in the link below. It's a deep guide to help you align mind, emotion, and energy and apply quantum lock-in in a practical and daily way. It's not just knowledge, it's expansion. Every word there was created to sustain the frequency you accessed in this video. Manifestation begins in consciousness, but it becomes real when it's lived. And now, the field has already heard your new sound.